Right, so we'll start our evening with the comeback player of the year so far. Now, this is going to be at what we think at week 9, not what we think probably by the end of the season. So, comeback player of the year so far, Andrew, I'm going to start with you. You said this is a very small list. You said it's got to be like one of 2 people. So
yeah, it's Dak Prescott. Surely.
You're giving it to Dak?
I'm giving it to Dak. I mean, who else is playing? Freddie wanted him to be in the MVP chat. He wanted to say he should be in for that. So the team isn't good enough for that. He's not good enough for that. He's not going to get offensive player of the year because that doesn't really go to a quarterback. So if he's not getting that, surely he's getting comeback player of the year. This is a big comeback for him. He's playing absolutely, as you said, MVP level football, not actually the MVP. So I think it's got to be Dak for me for this award.
So Dak was on the short list of what you said 3 people, right? You thought
yeah,
I've got 3.
CMC was my other one for that one, and then you're probably looking at maybe Hutchinson as well. Yeah, maybe
that's the third one I had.
Yeah, what's your short list looking at, Sky?
I feel like. Well, I've got me and Adam had a shame. Adam's got the most serious disease in the world, being man flu. We wish him all the best, not just because the Packers lost to the Panthers, but Christian, we get to see my awful handwriting.
Oh dear.
The only reason I went for McCaffrey was because we know to be fair, Dak's had some bad injuries in the past as well. But I know it's ridiculous when it's our age, sitting over here, me having Wingstop last night, talking about people in good condition. But 29 years old for a running back in the NFL, given his injury history, and then to, still show that he is an elite level player. And the Niners have been banged up. Defenses have known that he's been getting the ball. And playing with Matt Jones as well, who's obviously another quarterback who's thrived in a Shanahan system. But yeah, I think at this point in the season, I would go with McCaffrey.
I think I know I really planted the flag on the old Dak Hill, didn't I, a couple of weeks ago? So I should really be leaning towards Dak Prescott, really. But yeah, McCaffrey, I mean, it's not like Dak's had loads of injuries in front of him. Like his O-line's been pretty healthy. They've had a few injuries there. His running backs played really well. Say again?
Lamb was out. I'm sure see Andrews. I could see him ready to.
Yeah, lost his best wide receiver. Had a lot of other people have to step up. His O-line, you say it's been healthy. It's very young. It's little youngsters that needed to progress this year. It's not a load of veterans supporting him. Yeah, I think he's Javonte Williams has played well, though.
We rotate as Dak fans. It was like me a year ago. Then we had Fred, and now Andrew, the Giants fan, is like.
I'm not saying I'm a fan. I just think he's worthy of this award. I've got to give him one. So,
I think McCaffrey is incredibly impressive. What he did, but in a way, I'm like McCaffrey's just back to the level we know McCaffrey's on. Whereas I don't really think we've seen this level of Dak for really since like when he sort of broke out, and he sort of now got back onto that when he broke out, and then it's been like a massive lull, and we even were a bit like when he got that big contract, we were a bit like, I don't know, maybe they might regret that later on in his career. And I would have said you probably would have done after last year with his injury, and then he's come back this year and he's performed at an unreal level. So. Yeah, I mean, quarterback's it's the most important position in football, isn't it? Like, let's be honest. Like, as much as McCaffrey, like I said, banged up Mac Jones, but and they've had a banged up offense as well. But McCaffrey's just playing to the McCaffrey level for me, whereas Dak is exceeding the level that I think we all thought he was sort of plateauing at in a way. So I'm going to go with Dak as well. I mean, I've got a few options as well as we go through, and I just didn't have a comeback player of the year, but it's fine. I think Dak's thoroughly deserving of that. Well, let's go to. I mean, this is going to be, I feel like, the shortest section of this whole thing, and that is Coach of the Year.
Oh,
you can put up your sign if you want, Sky, and I think we'll probably all say in unison the same person.
Do you know what? I have 4 names, but I'm reluctantly gonna just go for, just so we can laugh each time.
Yes.
Yeah, it's Shane Steichen.
I think there is. I think there's one other guy for me that deserves to be in the chat, because obviously the Colts did falter, but what he's done with Daniel Jones is very, very impressive. I think Mike McDonald needs to be in the chat. I think
Yeah.
there's an argument to be made that they are the best team in the NFC at the moment. And they were, before the season started, when we looked at that division, they were the third favourites in their own division, and they're looking like they could be the best in the NFC right now. So, I think, again, a very young team, young wide receivers, new quarterback, and to come out and be playing this well straight off the bat, I think that's down to the coaching.
I think you can make a strong argument for that, for sure. I just think I don't think McDonald hasn't turned around a dud. Like this Colts team has been terrible for a good period now.
Well, it's not been terrible, has it? It's been one quarterback away. It's been one quarterback away since Andrew Luck left, doesn't it? And they just tried to patch it up with like Phillip Rivers and Carson Wentz and Joe Flacco and Gardner Minshew and people like that, haven't they? So Matt Ryan, I think they've been one quarterback away, and I think the O-line's always been good. I've always liked the wide receivers. They've been strong on defense over the years. But it's just the fact he's getting what he's getting out of Daniel Jones is why he needs to win the award, isn't it? The guy was a fumble machine. He couldn't throw the ball deep down the field. He can only throw it short. And now he's not dropping the ball and absolutely gunning it down to Alec Pierce. So I think that's why Shane Steichen's at the top of everyone's list, isn't it?
The two others I would have, obviously I'd throw out Mike Vrabel's name. I'm going to do that.
Deserved.
And also Shanahan, again, for the same reasons I was saying with McCaffrey. Just sort of banged up, but he's probably fourth on the list. The reason that I like the McDonald thing that Andrew said there is because what were they, 10-win team last year and just missed on the playoffs?
Yeah.
I think people don't give enough credit to when you still continue winning. It's very easy to go, oh, well, that team was awful and they've turned it around. But then you get a tougher schedule, even though you haven't, they still have played teams like Jags, Cardinals, Saints. I guess in theory, they're probably the NFC version of the Patriots. Some people are questioning who they've played, but you still got to beat who's in front of you. So by the end of the season, I mean, especially after the Colts dropped a stinker yesterday, it might well be that I think we're all pretty sold on the Seahawks making the playoffs, and he probably will get it. But at the halfway point, I
find notoriously this award doesn't go to the big names. It won't go to a McVay or a Shanahan or someone like that. It's someone who's doing better than expected. I think Dave Canales should be above those guys in terms of, if we're talking about right now, did any of us have the Panthers where they are currently and looking like a decent team? They look like they could cause some problems. I don't think they're going to light up the world this season, but they're going to cause some problems along the way. They did last night. So
that's probably one of the arguments where you could go why Vrabel's not in this list, because I don't think anyone doubts how good Vrabel is. I don't think anyone's ever doubted that. As much as he's doing fantastic with the Patriots, don't get me wrong, I think he thoroughly should be. And of course, having that year out and then coming in and doing so well straight off the bat. But we all felt that he's not a bad coach. It was just Tennessee. It just sort of the time ran out there. And for whatever team he joined, which we all knew it would be the Patriots, was going to be successful. All right, maybe not as successful as they have been straight off the bat. I think a lot of that is to do with the excellent form of Drake May as well, even though, again, he wasn't fantastic over the weekend, but he's still playing at a very, very good level. And you're right with Dave Canales. I mean, Panthers was seen as a team that weren't going to do very... And I think that's why Shane Steichen's also getting the plaudits he's getting, because I think a lot of people at the start of the season were going, well, it's probably going to be a toss-up between Colts or Jags to bottom this division. And they're flying. And I know, okay, they've come up against... They've lost over the weekend, and it was a real bad loss for them, 5+ takeaways. But as a Steeler fan, and having watched a lot of Steeler games, we really turned up. That was any given day, I think, whatever team we played, we would have really gone at them and given them a go. And that was a get-right game for us to sort of get back to some winning ways and sort of grab the collar of the AFC North again and say that we can win this division. So though this weekend is a bit of an anomaly for this season for the Colts, I still think he's turned this team around, and like I said, everyone was out on Daniel Jones, the whole league.
Shane Steichen, a lot of people thought this would be it for him, didn't they? They thought he'd be sacked. So,
but maybe he's just a good coordinator.
He's at least saved his job.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Daniel Jones is still. I mean, we don't need to go down that one. But by the end of the season, don't worry, they'll drop off.
Well, he threw 3 interceptions last night, didn't he? So maybe
he looked like that is the game he had last night. Is what I see if they make the playoffs. That will just how there's just teams that it sounds a bit harsh.
He shouldn't be throwing the ball 50 times.
No.
That's the issue. Don't rely on him.
Yeah, but they couldn't run on us. They could, and that's what they will come up against in the playoffs. And that's where I'm a little bit. We've seen this before. I've seen it before with the Steelers. We've seen it with the Cardinals, where they have a superb season up until about week 15, and it seems to whittle off. They get to the playoffs and they get bounced straight away, and you're like, well, that's who have there's then that conversation of who have they really beaten and stuff like that. And then in the playoffs, it's a different animal, and defenses step up and teams step up, and you have a lot more of a back catalogue of film to be able to go and study these teams. And if the Colts get to the playoffs now, this game, week 8 Steelers Colts, is the game that people are going to sit down and watch and go, right, how did they stop them? Because the score looks close, but it was that was very complimentary, I thought, for the Colts with the scoreline in the end, to be honest with you.
Yeah, garbage time score. But at least Shane Steichen might have some shiny thing on his mantelpiece, even if they do get bounced in the playoffs.